What is the worst thing you did as a neo-Nazi?
It is various violent acts, of course.
Is there one that stands out that you really are still ashamed of?
Yeah, I can't say. It's well, there is one. I didn't know the consequences. I met this girl at the conference, like 15 years after I left the movement, and she still had a lot of hard feelings about me. And she approached me after the conference, and it seems like I had at one stage hit her husband over the head with like a long sock with the pool table balls inside, you know, and it cracked his head, and he still didn't have regained his balance, so he lived with the damages still, you know.
What did you tell her?
Well, of course I was sorry, you know, and I actually did not know. I was never charged for it or anything like that. But it's tough. Of course it's tough.
What was it that drove you to do such things many years ago?
I think it's you have a lot of aggressivity. You are very aggressive. You have a lot of hate inside. You are very paranoid.
Where did it come from?
Well, it comes from the whole ideology, I think. You know, first of all, you know that people don't like you. Most people don't like you. And you are frustrated that people don't want to listen to you because you think yourself that you're spreading the truth. And of course, most people, you know, they know about World War II and all the horrific things that happened. And, you know, it's a lot of hate crime coming with this. So when you combine all these things, you know, with hate and paranoia, ideology and conspiracy theories that the Jews are behind everything that's bad in the world, you become pretty aggressive, and the ideology is also very against mixed-raced couples. So that was also a target. Whenever we saw mixed-race couples, we would attack them.
Was there ever a moment back there where you felt a tiny bit bad about it?
No.
No. So you were absolutely convinced you were doing the right thing,
yeah, for
the sake
time.
of the white race, etc.
Yeah.
No doubt at all.
Well, I got out eventually, roughly a year before I left the movement. But the previous 7 years, there was nothing.
One thing that strikes me, how come the fact that you were a good student, including in history, not prevent you from becoming a Nazi?
Well, you know, if you compare with the modern jihadists who go to Syria, many of those who go, they are converts. You know, they are ethnic Norwegians who convert to Islam, and then a month later they are down in Syria fighting. It happens very fast.
Right, but with all we know about World War II, and you knew it, does it mean that historical knowledge is not an automatic protection?
No, it's not, because it takes time. You know, I used like more than a year to become a neo-Nazi. I became slightly brown in my thinking, and browner, and I became like a patriot, then a nationalist, but I still didn't consider myself a racist or a Nazi. You know, and even the first period, I didn't like Nazis, even though I was about to become one myself. You know.
You've said in some interviews previously that you've actually brainwashed yourself in prison.
Yeah.
How come?
Well, the first time I ended up in jail, I was 16 and a half, I think. And I spent quite a few months in jail. And that was for various hate crimes. And I was isolated. The judge wanted to be hard on us, you know, so we would really learn our lesson. But I were allowed to receive packages with literature. So, you know, while I was sitting isolated and nobody to give me like a moral compass, I was reading Mein Kampf, Might is Right, Turner Diaries, Hunter, you know, and these are all books that have inspired people to do horrible things.
Are these legal in Norway?
Yeah.
So do you think you wouldn't have become a neo-Nazi if you weren't sent to jail?
Well, I wouldn't have been that militant and radical, I believe. Maybe there would have been a smarter solution for a 16-year-old than be isolated in a jail, you know, with only adult inmates.
At one point you also started believing in conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Does it mean that you considered everything you had been told in school or by your parents to be a lie?
Yeah, when I got out of jail, you can easily describe it like I felt that I had been living my life in a box and just been fed fake news and fake history. And now I was out of the box, finally free, and able to try and convince the world that you are all been lied to. It's the Jews, they are the evil ones. The Germans are innocent. The white race is being exterminated, you know. I was very passionate about it.
You even met a Holocaust survivor and you told him that his own story, the one that he's telling, is a lie.
Yeah.
Did you really, really believe that?
Yeah, I looked at him as a political activist who was lying to people to get sympathy for the Jews and to trash talk the Germans, you know, while it was the opposite in my view, you know, that it was the Germans who were the good guys and the Jews who were the evil ones.
Is there anything he could have told you to convince you otherwise?
Not at that point, I think.
Hopeless.
Yeah.
Later on you spent some time in South Africa, which is where you started having some doubts about the life you were leading, am I right?
Yeah.
How did it happen?
Well, it was a series of incidents actually that really turned my views upside down because it's not easy to explain what I felt about people who were darker in the skin, you know, black people, African people. I felt I had, you know, for me they were like wild animals roaming the streets, destroying civilization, and of course it was the Jews who let them loose. That was kind of my thought. And I met, you know, first one guy who robbed me. Well, it was actually 5 or 6 of them. This was during the bad years. You know, 9 out of 10 murders were not solved by the police. And we were like downtown Joburg, which is not a good place to be in the middle of the night when you're drunk and alone. I was only with an English guy. And they robbed us. And they put, you know, they did put a pistol straight to my head. And I thought to myself, you know, this is it, because I even had swastikas on me. And I expected him to pull the trigger and shoot me, but he didn't. I looked him in the eye, past the barrel of the gun, and I told him just, I hope you don't shoot me, because I would love to see the rest of your beautiful country. And I actually don't know why I said that, but that's the truth. You know, I was actually hoping for that because it is a beautiful country. And I don't know why, but he chose not to shoot me.
Did you not consider it being a proof of weakness?
Well, I was very confused because I thought to myself, if I were him, I would have shot myself. I would have shot me. And if I were in his shoes, for sure I would have shot me, you know. So I didn't look at it as weakness, but just confusion, because he wasn't the animal I thought he was, you know, because I didn't look at him as a fellow human being at all.